All right, everybody, Sal Capaccio here. Some quick thoughts on Leonard Floyd. Unfortunately, Matt and I got to our podcast before that happened because that's what happens, right? In this business, news breaks. We got the Ed Oliver extension, and now we get Leonard Floyd signing with the Bills as of Monday morning. I can confirm that is happening. It hasn't been officially announced by the team at the time I'm telling you this, but it will happen. Leonard Floyd joins the Bills, a veteran pass rusher, 30 years old, comes over from the LA Rams where he had 29 sacks over the last 50 games, 29 over the last 3 seasons. That's after he spent 4 years in Chicago. His rookie year, 7 sacks, looked really good, and then really had a dip, 3-4 sacks a year. But you talk to people in Chicago, they really weren't playing him in the right position. He really wasn't on the edge as that edge rusher as often as he should have been. Asked to do a little bit more than that, but in Buffalo, I think he's just going to be that pure edge rusher that they're going to need to get by until Von Miller is ready. Maybe that's early. Maybe that's week 4, week 5. Von says no later than week 6. And it doesn't mean that Leonard Floyd goes away after that. I just think this is insurance to have when Von Miller is healthy. He can get back on the field. But until then, you still have a very, very good, threatening edge rusher that teams have to worry about. I was surprised that it happened. I did think that they were going to add an edge rusher at some point. This was not a name that I was really thinking about. I was thinking more about a Frank Clark who's out there, a Justin Houston. Maybe Chandler Jones gets released, post June 1. There's been talk about that. Either way, Leonard Floyd comes to Buffalo. Now you have Leonard Floyd, Von Miller, Taylor Rapp, and David Edwards, all from that Rams team from just a couple of years ago that wound up winning the Super Bowl. Now they're in Buffalo. Now the Bills have a defensive line that, if you take a look at last year at the end of the year, where they were, considering Von not playing, to where they are now, I think you can argue for sure that it's been a big improvement on that front. The question is going to be Von Miller's health. When can he get back, and how well he will play when he gets back. In the meantime, what's it do for the rest of the defensive end group? Boogie Basham, AJ Epinesa. Of course, they went out and got a guy like Shane Ray. We talked a lot about in OTAs, but there's a lot of competition now on the back end of that defensive end group. Ed Oliver with the extension, all of our thoughts. It's always game day in Buffalo. You can find that, Matt Bove and me, right here on the YouTube page, Sal Sports, and also by subscribing to It's Always Game Day in Buffalo, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you do. I'm doing this now. I just returned from the brand new stadium, groundbreaking. It's going to be awesome. Knowing that the Bills are getting the stadium, 3 years it's going to take to build, and people are going to watch it go up. And then in 2026, the Bills are going to be playing in their new digs, which will also be called Highmark Stadium. It was announced, but everybody was out there from, obviously, Terry Pagula, the owner of the Bills. He spoke. Sean McDermott, Brandon Beane, they didn't speak, but they were there. And then from the political side of things, Kathy Hochul, the New York State Governor, Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz, and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Also, Ron Raccuia, Bills EVP and Chief Operating Officer. Speaking of Raccuia and Mark Poloncarz are both going to join me on WGR today as I fill in for Show with the Bulldog. Check it out, 3 o'clock, WGR. We got a lot to talk about today. Ed Oliver, Leonard Floyd, new stadium. Check it out, 3 p.m. I'll be on WGR today. My quick thoughts on Leonard Floyd here and more thoughts on the Ed Oliver extension on It's Always Game Day in Buffalo.